हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द आईएएस आईपीएस फैक्ट्री। जैसा कि आप सबको पता है कि हम डेली डोज सीरीज में वन वर्ड सब्स्टिट्यूशन, इडियम फ्रेजेस और सिनोनिम एंटोनिम्स कवर कर रहे हैं। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। इस वीडियो में हम वन वर्ड सब्स्टिट्यूशन डिस्कस करेंगे। इससे पहले हमारी वन वर्ड सब्स्टिट्यूशन की 4 वीडियोस आ चुकी हैं, ये 5वीं वीडियो है। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। लास्ट वीडियो में हमने 400 तक कंप्लीट कर लिया। इन दिस वीडियो we will start from 401. Convalescence, बीमारी से ठीक होना, gradual recovery of health and strength. Next is convent, mutt, a place where nuns live and work. Next is convey, kafila, a group of vehicles traveling together, typically one component by armed troops. Next is coronation, raj tilak karna, ceremony of crowning a king. Next is corpus, संग्रह, पुस्तक, संग्रह, collection of written or spoken text. Next is corroborate, पुष्टि करना, to confirm with the help of evidence. Next is cortege, शव यात्रा, a funeral procession. Next is cosmography, विश्व रचना, science of the constitution of the whole universe. Next is cosmopolitan, समस्त संसार का, विश्व का नागरिक, a person who regards the whole world as his country, one who is a citizen not of a country but of the world. Next is counterfeit, जाली या नकली, made in imitation so as to be passed off prudently as genuine. Next is couplet, द्विपदी, दोहा, a stanza having 2 lines in verse. Next is credible, विश्वसनीय, that can be believed or trusted. Next is credulous, भोला भाला, a person who readily believes others easily. Next is creed, संप्रदाय, a system of religious belief, a faith. Next is crematorium, शवदाह, a place where a dead person's body is burned. Next is crisis, संकट, turning point, danger or disease. Next is criterion, मापदंड, a principle or standard by which anything is or can be judged. Next is critic, आलोचक, one who find nothing good in anything is called critic. Next is croak, टरटराना, मेंढक की आवाज, the sound made by frog. Next is crowd, भीड़, a group of people. Next is crumble, चूर चूर करना, break or fall apart into small fragments in the process of deterioration. Next is crusade, crusade, धर्म युद्ध, a dynamic campaign for political, social or religious change. Next is crusted, पपड़ीदार, having or forming a hard outer layer. Next is cryptograph, कूटलेखन, a device for deciphering codes and keepers. Next is cryptography, गुप्त लेखन, the study of secret writing and coded language or words. Next is cuisine, भोजन, पाक शैली, a style of cooking food, characteristics of a particular country or region. Next is culpable, आपराधिक, guilty of the crime. Next is culture, संस्कृति, all the arts, beliefs and social institution etc. characteristics of a race. Next is curator, संग्रहालय अध्यक्ष, a keeper or custodian of a museum or other collection. Next is curfew, निषेधाज्ञा, single under martial law for people to remain indoors. Next is curiosity, jigyasa, a strong desire to know or learn something. Next is currency, mudra, the system of money used in a particular country. Next is curse, poshna, the expression of a wish that misfortune or doom befall a person. Next is cynic, nindak, manodveshi, one who sneers at the aims and beliefs of his fellow man, a person who believes that only self selfishness motivates human actions. Next is xenophobia, कुत्ते से असाधारण भय, extreme fear of dogs. Next is Inosaur, आकर्षण बिंदु, center of attraction. Next is cipher, गुप्त लिखावट, a secret or disguised way of writing. Next is cytology, कोशिका विज्ञान, dealing with cells. Next is daredevil, दुस्साहसी, a person who enjoys doing dangerous things in a way that other people may think is stupid. Next is deadlock, Gadirod, a situation when no progress is possible. Next is deaf, Behra, one who cannot hear. Next is decade, Dashak, a period of 10 years. Next is decoding, कूट भाषा को सुलझाना, changing secret and coded messages in a reliable form. Next is defamation, manhani, act of injuring another's reputation by scandalous communication. Next is defame, badnaam, to injure one's reputation. Next is defend, बचाव करना, to protect from harm or danger. Next is defiance, अवज्ञा, open refusal to obey orders. Next is deficiency, पोषक तत्वों की कमी, a shortage of vitamins, minerals, etc. needed for good health. Next is delegate, प्रतिनिधि, to give one's authority to another. Next is deliberation, सोच समझकर, slow and careful movement or thought. Next is delinquency, कर्तव्य से चूक, an omission of duty. Next is delinquent, अपराधी, a young person tending to commit crime, particularly minor crime. Next is delinquents, पिघलना या गलना, become liquid typically during decomposition. Next is delirium, बेहोशी में बोलना, a disturbed state of mind caused by an illness. Next is demagogue, जनोत्तेजक नेता, a leader who sways his followers by his oratory. Next is democracy, लोकतंत्र, प्रजातंत्र, जनतंत्र, a system of government in which all the peoples of a country can vote to elect their representatives. Next is demography, जनसांख्यिकी, the study of population and its dynamics. Next is Dane, मान, lion's home. Next is denature, विकृत करना, take away or alter the natural qualities of. Next is denigrate, बदनाम करना, criticize unfairly. Next is depict, शब्दों में वर्णन करना, portray in words. Next is deponent, गवाह, person who gives written testimony for use in a law court. Next is depraved, भ्रष्ट, morally corrupt. Next is deprecate, विरोध करना, to feel and express strong disapproval. Next is depreciate, मूल कम करना, to become less valuable over a period of time. Next is deputy, up, one appointed to act in a place of another. Next is deranged, विक्षिप्त, पागल, unable to think clearly because of a mental illness. Next one is derelict, आवारा व्यक्ति, a person without a home, a job or a property. Next is dereliction, कर्तव्य का त्याग, failing to discharge one's duty. Next is deride, उपहास करना, to laugh at something in a cruel way. Next is dermatologist, त्वचा विशेषज्ञ, a doctor who studies and treats skin disease. Next is dermatology, त्वचा विज्ञान, the scientific study of skin disease. Next is desertion, परित्याग, the abandonment of one's country or cause. Next is destitute, badhali, a person without money, food and other things necessary for living. Next is detective, jasus, one who investigates and solves crime. Next is deterrence, रुकावट डालना, the action of discouraging on an action or event through instilling doubt or fear of the consequences. Next is devious, धूर्त, showing a skillful use of underhand tactics to achieve goals. Next is dexterous, निपुण, skillful with your hands. Next is diagnose, रोग पहचानना, determine the nature of the disease. Next is diagnosis, रोग की पहचान, the process of deciding the nature of disease by examination. Next is dialect, बोली, a particular form of a language which is peculiar to a specific region. Next is diarchy, द्वैत शासन, government by two rulers or authorities. Next is diatribe, उग्र भाषण, कठोर निंदात्मक भाषण, bitter and violent attack in words. Next is detector, तानाशाह, a ruler with total power over a country, typically one who has obtained control by force. Next is dictatorial, तानाशाही, giving orders in a manner that permits no refusal. Next is dictionary, Sabdakosh, a book giving meaning of various words. Next is diffuse, फैला हुआ, spread over a wide area or between a large number of people. Next is dilemma, duvida, a situation requiring a choice between equally undesirable alternatives or confusions. Next is dilettante, शौकिया, a dabbler in the art and literature. Next is diligent, मेहनती, showing care and effort in your work duties. Next is dipsomania, शराब की लत, irresistible craving for alcoholic drinks. Next is directory, नाम और पते की पुस्तक, a book of names and addresses. Next is dirge, show गीत, a song sung in the past at the funeral or for a dead person. Next is disaster, आपदा, an act that has disastrous consequences. Next is discuss, चक्का फेंक प्रतियोगिता, a heavy round plate of metal thrown by an athlete. Next is descent, franchisism, sorry for the pronunciation, मताधिकार से वंचित करना, the state of being deprived of a right or privilege, especially the right to vote. Next is disgraceful, sharmnak, an act that makes feel morally bad or ashamed. Next is disgruntled, asantusht, disappointment and annoyed about something. Next is disguise, भेष बदलना, change the appearance to deceive or to hide the identity. तो इस तरह हमारे 500 OWS हो गए कंप्लीट। और इस सीरीज में कितने टोटल OWS है मैं आपको बता देती हूँ एक बार, जिससे आपको आइडिया रहेगा बेसिक टोटल कितनी वीडियोस हमारी बनने वाली हैं। सो जस्ट वेट, ओहो काफी ज्यादा है आई थिंक। ओके, तो ये जो 200 मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट OWS है ये तो मैं आपको एक अलग वीडियो में करा चुकी हूँ, ये बहुत ज्यादा रिपीटेड है। आप इनकी रिपीटेड नंबर देख लें, देखो ये 17 टाइम्स 14 टाइम्स, ये बहुत ज्यादा रिपीटेड है, तो प्लीज इसको तो बहुत अच्छे से याद कर लीजिएगा। ये मैं आप ऑलरेडी कवर करा चुकी हूँ और इस सीरीज में है टोटल 823 और हम 1823 सॉरी, एंड हमने 500 कंप्लीट कर लिए एंड इन 1 वीक हम 1826 तक कंप्लीट कर लेंगे एट एनी कॉस्ट। आई प्रॉमिस यू टू कंप्लीट इट इन जस्ट 1 वीक। और अगर मैंने प्रॉमिस किया है तो मैं कोशिश करूंगी इस प्रॉमिस को कंप्लीट करूं जल्दी से, जिससे कि आप लोगों का अगर एग्जाम हो तो आप जल्दी जल्दी रिवाइज कर पाएं। तो अगर आपको हमारी वीडियो, हमारे एफर्ट पसंद आ रहे हैं तो प्लीज डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब। बाय बाय।